Hive. Today we're going to be making some bees in a hive. So for this you're going to need a big piece of paper, some smaller papers for drawing our bees. You're going to need a Sharpie. I'm going to use a thick and a thin. You are going to need a hexagon for making the hive. I just made mine out of cardboard and I'll show you how to do that. Or if you have a puzzle piece or part of a game or even a stencil, you can use that. You will need scissors to cut and some glue and crayons or crepa in orange, yellow, brown and black. Okay, we're ready to make our bees. You're going to start off, we're going to make our little hexagon that we need to use as a tracer. So if you don't have one, you can just make one on a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard, and it doesn't have to be super accurate, but you want it to be as accurate as you possibly can. So I started off by using an inch for each side. I traced about an inch and then I came down just over an inch and a half and made a dot. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to make this an inch across also. So this is the bottom part. And I'm going to go up about halfway and come out to the side. This is an inch. And then this should be an inch. Fairly accurate. And an inch here and here. Okay, so then you would cut out your little stencil and you would have it ready to trace. Okay, there is an important way that we set them down when we're drawing them. So I'm going to start off in the corner and I'm going to draw in my first one with pencil. I'm actually going to do pencil and then trace in Sharpie. I think it'll be more accurate if I do it that way. Now the next one, I'm not going to place it next to it, otherwise I won't be able to get one to fit in here. See how that's a small triangle? So I'm going to put it down and draw around it there. So now when I move up to this one, you can see this is a half of a hexagon already for me. So I'm just going to continue going up and then down and then I would continue going until I have covered all of my page. Okay, step 2, you are going to be tracing in Sharpie. You can see that one didn't line up too well, but don't worry because we're going to be colouring over it anyway. I haven't covered my whole page, but you would cover your whole page so that you would have it like my example. Okay, so once I have covered all of them, this is where I'm going to get to the colouring part. I have my 3 crayons or crepas. I'm going to start off with the brown. And brown is going to be just lightly, I'm going to colour the outside of each hexagon, or just inside there. And then I'm going to use the orange, again just lightly. I don't want to press too hard. And then with the yellow, this time I'm going to press a little harder because my yellow is light and I want it to show. You could even use colour pencil for this. So you would continue to colour brown And then orange. And then yellow. And I will continue until I had them all colored. Now we're going to be making our bee. So I cut my paper smaller just so that I don't make my bee too big. I would say this is probably, let's see, like 3.5 by maybe 4 inches. You don't want it too much bigger than that, or your bee will be too big. So I'm going to start off straight away with Sharpie so I don't get caught up in erasing out if I use pencil. Now bees are really important. Not only do they make that yummy honey, they also pollinate all our food for us. So they are really important. We're going to start off by making his head, and it's kind of like a semicircle or a letter C. And I'm just going to close that up. Now on the side here, I'm going to draw these little eyes. They're called compound eyes. And I'm going to color that a little bit. That's part of his head. The next part is like two little lines coming down, almost like another C shape. And that part is called his thorax. I can add 2 antennae up here. I'm going to make them a little thicker because I want to cut them out, and if they're too thin they're going to be tricky to cut. And I'm moving on to this bottom part. Curve and curve around. This part is called his abdomen. This is the part that is stripy, so I can put my stripes on. I can thicken them up later. And at the very end he has his little stinger. Okay, and then his wings actually come from the top right by the thorax here. And actually bees have 2 wings on either side. They have a pair of wings. He has a bigger wing at the top and then a little smaller wing behind. This one is a forewing and a hind wing. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Forewing and hind wing. And you can even put those little veins on him, on the wings. Okay, just need to add his legs, so I'm actually going to change over to my thicker Sharpie. I'm going to have 2 legs coming out here. I'm going to thicken them up because again I'm going to be cutting them, and if they're too thin they're going to be tricky to cut. And then the other 2, they come out of the thorax area too, so quite near the wing. One is here and one is here. And on the end of their little legs, I think it's just the hind ones, they have something called a pollen basket. And that is where they collect all the pollen from the flowers or the plants. And that's what they make into honey. Okay, so I have my basic little bumblebee made. I'm just going to thicken up these stripes a little. Okay, before I cut him out, I'm just going to color this part yellow. The abdomen part is yellow. And his head I'm going to do yellow. And then this little part here is black. And if you want, you can even very lightly colour the wings. Okay, so I'm going to cut him out. Just being careful to not cut off the legs, but guess what? If you do, it's not a big problem. You can always draw them on when you stick the bee down. So I'm going to try and be careful and not cut them off. Okay, so I have my little bee and I'm ready to put him in the hive with the other one. I'm just going to glue him anywhere, and you can make as many bees as you like. I think at least 2 would be good, but you can make more than 2. I hope you had fun making it. I really want to see your bees. I'm sure they're going to look great.